Hello, hi, it is me, Desire Small Town Didi, your internet, and I'm back. I've just fucked up. I lost some footage. I'm having to start bits of my videos over, so my energies will be mismatched in parts, okay? But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to the new people. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Hello. Yalla. I need to figure out which part I've salvaged and which part of the videos I lost, okay? And I think the parts where I start talking about Ruth, episode 5, the ultimatum. That's why you're down here. Genesis and Courtney go on a date, waste of our time, snooze face. These people, first of all, Courtney chose what's his name, Genesis, because they have a friendship. Like literally, whatever she sees in Aiden is why she chose Genesis. Okay, she knew she wouldn't be tempted to touch him. And then we have Sizakele having a video call with Nkateko's mom, which in some people's eyes is a big deal, and I suppose it is. But these dudes will let anybody meet their moms, and these women will meet anybody. When Nkateko's mom says the things she says about Kanya, we've seen hints of it already, but it's almost like, oh, she's being a bit much, you know? That's a bit much. But no. You see later on that she's on the money. We actually had, after the last time when Kanya and Isaac get into it about the dishes, Isaac went over to complain to Lindilia about the whole thing, and Tabby went over to check on, what is her name? On Kanya. Nkatako's mom talks about Kanya being bitter, being this and that, and how she'll never heal, how she'll never change, and she's on the money. This woman is 33, and this is not me being ageist or saying that life can't happen after 33, but she hasn't had real consequences or repercussions thus far. And a lot of the things about her, like, I feel like if she was a man exhibiting this kind of behavior, we would have labeled her all kinds of things by now, but we let her get away with it because she's a woman, right? Like, and she's a woman who looks a particular way. Society deserves this. Men deserve her. How we treat beautiful women, or and by extension, beautiful people, the concessions we make, the compromises we make for them, that's how we end up with people like this. This isn't born, it's made. And coddled and encouraged and protected and given chance after chance. There is no woman who looks like me who gets to throw around her weight the way that Kanya does, and it's acceptable and people still make room for them, right? You quickly learn that you must change your behavior, but not her. There'll always be an exception for her. All right. And like I said, Nkateko's mom talking about how bitter Kanya is. But in terms of, she explains that girl is bitter. It's simplifying it, saying bitter. It simplifies it, but I believe it gets the message across enough for us to understand, what in the, like, Dracula tryst we're dealing with, because I could go over there. Do you know what's crazy about Kanya? There will be slews of men that can rap Mall of Africa several times after the show, lined up, ready to proposition her. That's what you as an average looking and below average looking woman needs. Like, that's what you need to understand. And that's why you need to laugh with me. Ruth takes Nola. She could have just taken him for some fucking gelato and not bothered herself with this. But she takes Nola to meet her people, her siblings, and I don't know whom else. And he's talking circles and just lying. Nola is the average South African man. I don't care. I don't give a shit. How do you feel about that? Nola is exactly that, right? Yes. Also, Nola, they people from whatever little corner of the world that Nola and Lebo come from, who saw them on this show and they were like, Lina, like, they were literally, can you obey? Like, why I keep him saying I'm kicking me some like, oh my god, Lebo, I love you, girl. I'm not laughing. It's just like your man. I don't, guys. That's the thing about. Hey, here's the thing. I no longer believe in warning bitches. Like bitches, they need to see and find things out for themselves, and then you must just show up with like, boxed wine to get the like, because Cyril's economy. Help them through. If you tell them, if anybody had gone to tell her, hey, I think Nola, or I saw Nola, because the boys had a dinner or drinks, and Aiden went home and she's like, dude, your boy's energy, he's lying about something. And her whole thing was like, yeah, but you have nothing concrete. Ruth told her, I opened my legs. This is earlier on, later on in the season. I opened my leg more than thrice for dude. And she's still gadlanga with a Savannah in hand, bitch. Went over, I am muchare. Is it true? Girl, is what true? The leg open, I told you. You see, you can't tell girls anything. You can't warn them. Even if like people from her own hood or wherever it is she's from were like, yo, that's that dude. Because that dude is the red flag. He's the actual red flag. Like the flag. He's the one. They should change it to him. And South African men lie exactly like that. It doesn't need to be believable. They just need to deny it. Like, and once they've denied it, it's okay. Then never type. I hope you guys see what foolishness you've been putting up with, including me. I hope we've seen that we're not okay and we need to be embarrassed. And obviously, there's a spell on us. Not really. Like, no, I really truly believe like there was a time something was happening. I think we'd stopped having kids with them, or we just were like, ick, and we don't want them near us. And the big witches realized that these hoes are gonna go extinct, and we need more like people. What can we do? And they got some strong herbs and did something, and it's a fucking curse. And it stood the test of time because it maketh no sense how we are still drawn to these creatures that serve us in no particular like. We're going to die. Anyway, meets the family. Listen, I'm very conflicted because she talks a lot about this is what's her name, Ruth. Says when she's sitting with her family with Nola, she's like, listen, I'm not sure about Nola for a number of things and that other thing. And they're like, what other thing? She whispers in somebody's ear and it sounds like she's told them about the size of his manhood. And one of the brothers is like, yeah, she mentions that sometimes she doesn't feel him through intercourse, you know. I want to say Basadi by Imeju, but quite the opposite, you see. But with the energy of like, oh, we made you still, but not quite. You know, awatala. Ukaba we made you, but awatala. I don't know how I feel about that. And I need to sit with it because I said to my best friend, men aren't protective of our feminine, like not necessarily our feminine, but our womanhood. Like things, even if they are things we're not in control of or constructs that are linked to how we've come to identify in womanhood. When it's time to throw those things in our face as to, oh, and you don't have this and you don't have that, and or things you aren't in control of, the same way they're not in control of how their penises grew. Like they really aren't in charge of that. What the fuck is supposed to happen, dude? Like, you know? Do you see? I'm like, why am I still very much like, I just think it's whack. I don't really think I'm protecting like their fragility more than I think it's whack. I think it's low hanging fruit. And I don't think it should have come up at all. Like, I think she already told them in their private spaces as her siblings, or mara, this guy, nah, I'm already putting up with this, and this. And then on top of that, there's this thing that I know he won't be able to change. So the least he can do is act right, so that I don't have to deal with these other things that are behavioral things that he can actually change. I think we could have gone without this. I was saying to like Base, I was like, listen, bitch, like for me, this should like lends itself right there next to when you guys decide that a dude is gay, like because he doesn't like you, or when you all have stopped fucking together. Now you want to talk about some sexual shit that you all were doing. um like why is it gay for him to want to explore some shit sexually and you were game for it at the time? Like, and like it's right, it's in the same lane for me. I think it's whack. I just think talking about people's is whack. And like, don't talk about, like, it's whack. I'm sorry, I really do. But then she said it and I'm like, men who will be in that situation and know that that's the hand that they got dealt or not dealt, and they'll still be out there ba tswelela batho ba reng ba rasa. Ra ba re ke goa through a lot. Lo jele re land na yo. Oh. Okay. Who else met whose people? Oh, Tabi's fucking delusional, bitch. Tabi has her family, her sister, and a mate of hers, and she has them meet Lindile. First of all, I don't know if Tabi just likes boring guys. Because, honestly, Lindile and Genesis and Aiden, I'm not saying bore. Actually, they might, like, except Lindile, because, like, me, the acting stuff, I can't, like, my life is already in limbo. Like, I've chosen a career where I exist in limbo. So just off of that, I'm gonna have to bid in farewell, yeah? But like, in terms of like that reserve thing and that, I get it, that's my thing. But like, she's swapping out, I don't know. Have I not picked up on Indile's personality? Maybe, guys. I don't think so. There's nothing to pick up on. He gyms and he wants to be on TV, and he with anyway, they think they're falling for each other. Tabi's family asked some really serious questions, some needed questions, and I like that. I like how direct they were. You know, her sister's like, I don't want her to look back on this if she ever decides to go with him and not Genesis. That, you know, was this person using me for clout? Was he trying to get his career going? This, that, and the other. And valid stuff. You know, one of the friend says, you don't know him outside of this bubble, like outside of this very manufactured, almost manicured life where almost everything is set in place so that, you don't know him outside of that. You don't know him in the real world where real decisions have to be made, like rent, and they ask him what he does and he says he's an actor, but he does other gigs like security gigs and things like that on the side. And he really has not gone a period where he couldn't take care of the basics like rent and food and water and water and water and water. When I tell you South African men are homosexuals, South African men are getting women to take care of them out there. Our sisters, bagovile. Our sisters are picking up extra shifts at their respective jobs. Yo. What's that noga tsedia? Fisa. Noga nyaka ice pick. Because muthu u bebude lisa la o legana le re ke mane leina la we yayo wa thoda o mugi le re ba re ke mane you see, I even forgot his fucking name. That's how he's not memorable. Lindeli. I've been saying his name this whole fucking time. But him, how is your back not about to like give in when you carrying a dude like that? That's a lot of man to carry about the place. Le tlo ke mona mo fio motse ba wena ba re o na le autoimmune ntonto. Just you fucking hoes. None of their hair ever falls out. The dudes not. They just bald because it's time. Like they're balding and stuff. You start having patches in your hair. Like shit just starts with you. Yeah. Okay. Carrying a nigga twice your fucking size, bitch. Some of this, I'm telling you, it's a spell. And it's strong. I think it's the oldest spell ever cast. And they used all the magic they could find for it. And they babofile. That's what we say. Whatever bofile ba big major into space. Good luck finding Lukujole wa Lukunula. I am, those of you who only understand English, I am so sorry today. Except I'm not really sorry because this is my home language. By the way, my people and I have experienced an erasure of sorts. Okay, so please allow me from time to time to really express myself in the language I use when I'm talking to my ancestors. I am so sorry. And then we have everybody going to meet up at the dinner before they go and swap back to their original partners. So this is where everybody's sort of like a tell-all, if you would like. I forgot what they named it. The loss. Not really, but it's like a tell-all dinner where you go and you say, hey, this was sort of my experience, and maybe if you want to come clean with the person whom you've been shacked up with their partner, then you come clean with that person. With the boys, I feel like for the most part, it was hard for them. It was, because Genesis, I really feel like they should have paid Genesis with the right person. I feel like casting got Courtney and his name is not Alec, Aiden, on the wrong season. I really do. But like, honestly, Courtney knew that she was going to have a harder time with Nkateko. So she chose somebody who is more like Aiden, because she knows her and Aiden are also friends. You sit with that for a bit. Take all the fucking time you need with that shit. Courtney chose somebody who's exactly like Aiden, because her and Aiden are now chomas. Okay, and she knew she's not going to have a hard time wanting to get sexual with this person or anything of that nature, because, wow, I'm pretty sure she's perfectly fine keeping her hands to herself next to that Aiden. And Aiden is a cute boy. Aiden looks like a clean boy. Aiden is a level-headed boy. Aiden is an effective communicator. Aiden is the calm in the storm. Aiden's temperament is something to be desired. Listen, how Aiden handles things is just, it's like, I can't explain it. It's like he doesn't play into the boys will be boys shit without being overly like self-righteous. It's just, Aiden is not with your shit, right? Like he's just not with the thing that you're doing right now. Not in a he thinks he's better than you, but in a he's just not with the thing you're doing right now. Love Aiden. Loved him on the season. Courtney too. Courtney, very observant, amazing communicator, right? All her reads on Kanya and how she's communicated her observations of Kanya to Nkateko, spot on. Just listen. I really just think Aiden and Courtney met too young. They've done enough life together. They've outgrown each other, but it's so comfortable, and they're scared that, what if there's nothing out there and I'm letting go of this good thing? And then it's going to be harder to try and build this bond with somebody else. Osadekaba, as me and my people say, Osadekaba, all they have left is that they love each other. They do. But they aren't in love, and they're never going to get back to that point, right? That's fizzled out. That ship has sailed. But I think they need to realize they'll always almost be in each other's lives to a degree, because they're the poor. and that pull is friendship. It's okay. Let go. And I think Genesis and Tabby could be headed there, but I think Tabby's personality is a bit more lively, so it keeps a spark there because she's sort of a hopeless romantic. So she stokes those fires and she keeps it going a little bit and it comes back up. But if they were relying on Genesis to steer the ship, his complacency would have like Titanic that bitch like eons ago, and I think that's why they end up finding themselves here. But this thing of like, I really believe the takeaway as well is forevers and evers is a fucking lie. This you're gonna find your person when you're 18, fresh, or 19, fresh out of high school, and you're starting varsity. And we look back on it with this nostalgia of like, oh, they've been together for 50. I'm like, oh my fucking God. Have you seen anything that's 50 years old? Not everything ages well. Some fabrics even disintegrate. It's like, ew. It's not always great. And I love thrifting, but it's like, it's not as it's not, Not, no. But they go to the dinner. Why do I feel like this is going to be 4 parts? They go to the dinner, and at the dinner, everybody's saying, oh, who did you meet? Who did you meet? Baby, when I tell you, Kanya came to this dinner ready to poof, on that Sizakele. Caesar wala. Caesar cries, guys. Like, Caesar cries. Like, yo, Haisham. I really feel like Lindile miscalculated. Lindile thought he had a girl because of how emotionally charged she is. He counted on her to just sit away for 3 weeks, pining after him and crying and having such a hard time because she's crying that she wouldn't bond with anybody else. Right? That's why he was so mean to her the way he was in the beginning with the, I don't think we should call each other that, and don't tell me you love me, right? And he almost was getting off on it, right? Got a little smirk about it. He thought she was going to have a hard time. But all of that, she's porous in a good way, in that like she's so open to receiving and giving. She was always going, you just overestimated yourself, my G. And you shouldn't do that because you don't even got a job like that. That's the thing. Your calculations are always off, Lena. Your math is always not mathing like properly. But they talk about Kanya lets Ruth know that, oh, I met his family. And Ruth is like visibly and like, she lets us know, like, she's upset. She's like, I've been with this person for this while. I've never been good enough to meet his family. You're with him for like 3 weeks barely, and you're good enough. We see that's why I'm saying it's fine to laugh at him. Do you guys know, because I skipped this part, do you guys know that, what is his name, man? Isaac had the nerve to link up with Ruth. Like, Isaac had the nerve to, because when it starts to register with him, what he already knew, right? Which is that Kanya is nothing to, like, and he's not. Here's the thing about Isaac. I think he was sort of prepared for Kanya to be this person, but he was hoping by the time he gets sick of it, maybe he would have got some. I think that was again, the numbers are wrong. These are your potential heads of households. They're getting their numbers off. Okay, but, be the Nick. And, he met up with Lebo, and he's like, yo, this girl is like, listen, Isaac will complain about Kanya to anybody who will listen to him. Okay? And Lebo's not surprised, She's like, oh, I was actually planning something for your birthday because you're somebody who, she connected with. And she figured, okay, if I'm going to be partnered with him, I must start making plans for the birthday. I guess he's there sad and regretting his choices because my friend is like, you can see these eyes that he's thinking of all the labor he could have gotten out of her. And he's sad. He got none. Isaac, Ruth is like so upset that she didn't get to meet the family and stuff. And, Kanya's very happy about this. She doesn't give a shit. She's so happy to tell him this. Then they ask them, physically, who's done what, who's gone where. And then Ruth says, you know what, I'll prefer to speak to Lebo about how far we went with just the two of us. And I really, really thought that was good of her. I appreciated her. And I appreciated everybody else for not trying to pressure her into, no, sit here. Like, we're all girls. We're all sitting here. We all have, it's like, I'm so glad nobody did that to them. Okay. And but Ruth's anger is directed at the right place. When they ask Sizakele, who did you meet from Kateko's side? And she's like, oh, I met his mom. You met his mom? This is Kanya, right? Because, like, things, it's like, guys, Kanya, again, it's about the war. Kanya is literally coming apart. Like, literally, like a car. Have you seen like an animation where the car starts coming apart, like the wheel goes there and that goes, like it's literally just like going up. That's Kanya. Guys, we build as a society, not us, because it's a patriarchy. The things they tell women who look like this, that's how we end up with this problem. She can't fathom how this girl, if she were to walk into a club, because everything is competition with girls like this, right? If she were to walk in the club and size up the competition, that is to look up like, the other women in the club and look them up and down and see who could potentially here go with the baller that she's after. See, her eyes would not even stay on Caesar, but her eyes wouldn't even go. If Caesar's standing here, like her neck would not know how to do that because like she can't, it's not a possibility. Like it's not a possibility that this is the girl that comes through to disrupt her hustle because she's working off of this template. And like according to the rules of engagement, Caesar's already not first of all, Caesar's not in the club according to her. So Caesar being in the club will have Kanya yelling security because how dare this fat bitch breathe my air? I'm not making it up. She called her fatty boom boom ratchet this every fucking chance she got. Go watch like end of episode 6 or 28 minutes into episode 5 and going into episode 6. So you're right, guys. And then Caesar's like, you met his mom. You could not. I thought she's still in Saudi Arabia. How did you meet her? And she's like, no, it was a video call. Oh, then you didn't meet her. Girl. When I tell you with your short stick heads, I like everybody is like, what is wrong? I think she's the elderly citizen. Like at the Mtangan. Like honestly, all before and all I'm telling you now, because there'll be nobody taking care of her. So and she gets there before everybody. She's a senior citizen, like, and not even in an ageist manner. But I feel like all these other young women are perplexed, like they don't know this behavior. No, 90. Oh, and Kibeli 80, she already had a way out because those ones, they still. Hi, not all of you. Actually, let me not do that. I know plenty of you who don't, but the ones around your age group that I'm told, like they're still very much like those, but they no, not even around. I apologize, my 80s. I take it back, y'all. My bad. But It was a video call. That's not the same as meeting her. Girl, she was on the video telling me you're unhinged, bitter and unhealed and can never be put back together, Humpty Dumpty. Like, what are you talking about? Okay. And then he's like, oh, by the way, I just want to let you know, I know you say that you've been bonding with Nkateko, but is he bonding with you? Because I just want to let you know, we haven't had sex since September, so he might just be using you. Like, guys, I have never in my life experienced through any kind of way, television in person, this level of insecurity. And just, I think she stopped developing at 17 because she's not even calculated and her deliveries aren't thought through or like of a respectable caliber. And like, yeah, he's just using you. Also, I know his laugh, and I swear one day I heard him fake laughing for at least. I've been with him long enough to know all his laughs. Girl, I don't. His mom doesn't know all his laughs. I don't know what you're talking. Nobody knows anybody like that. Like, let's like, yo, you, I know all his laughs, and you know, she went for that girl. And then when they talk about Lindile, because Lindile is her original partner, but Lindile is now partnered with Tabi. When Lindile comes up, she's all like, no, Lindile is in love. She's not partnered with Lindile. Lindile is in love. Like, he said it himself. Like, he said it. He said it. It's like, yo, guys. And the thing about a person like this, like, you can't shame them about being pathetic because they don't possess the capacity to experience shame. Like, I don't know if you know. Also, they're always right. Also, she's a victim. Oh my god, I can't do it. Anyway, everybody leaves and Ruth sits down with Leb when she comes clean. She's like, listen, we've been having sex, not once, not twice, not thrice. I feel like Ruth could have just said, yo, me and your man have been going at it for, like, don't count. Don't count. And Leb was like, oh, okay, thank you, girl, whatever. Everybody now goes back to their respective homes. Sizakele is visibly upset, obviously, because of the interaction that she's just had with Ulantuza. She goes back there, and then the boys had their own chat where, what is his name? Nola lied. Nola lied the entire time that they were... The boys asked, who's Babs, who hasn't done what. Nola sized up to see if any of the guys have been doing what he's been doing and if any of them would come clean. And everybody was just like, no, we've done it up until this point, or we were intimate up until this degree, but we didn't go past this, and then he didn't come clean. Nola not coming clean was not in protection of Ruth or in honor of the agreement. He does not know how to be that person. It was, oh, what are the other guys going to think about me? Not even that, because I don't think he cares that much. It was, he felt like he was then going to be attacked because he was going to be on his side. So it was always in protection of himself, And Isaac pulled him aside so they could have the conversation, man to man. Shirley and Barbara. They were to the side, and and he asked him again, and he still talked. But Nola was given ample opportunity to come clean. I don't think it was going to be... It was never going to be easy. But this guy's asking you. He wants the answer. There's a way to do it. And Nola's mad, like, dishonest. He was hoping they could leave all of this, Ruth keeping her mouth shut, and then everybody would just watch it for themselves. And maybe he'll not show up to the reunion, or maybe he'll answer about it to the reunion. You guys need to remember, this guy came into the show. At no point did he show any, like, sort of reverence, nothing, any respect. It's almost like he was let loose. Not even, it's like he was just being himself. That's what's scary, I think. Like, he didn't seem like a fish out of water. He didn't seem to be struggling in any way, shape, or form. He just seemed to take to it, because that's probably the life that he lives, and it just is that. You guys, South African men move like this, and I don't. Guys, your husbands, the level of single that your husbands are, you can't fathom. They were never that single when you guys were both single. The day you guys met each other and you were single and you bumped into each other like oopsies, and then you fell in love or whatever the hell that is. Do you remember how single they was? They're more single than that day. Bad choice. They are doing a lot. Oh. But Ruth goes home. Everybody's like dispersing home. Sizakele is like visibly upset because this woman called her loose. You know, attack, basically just alluding to the fact that you must be having sex with him, and it's happening because he's starved. You see, he can't have this. Basically, that's the communication. He hasn't been getting this stuff, so he's gonna, he's starved, so he's gonna do what he might. Yo, guys, how are you this old and this insecure? Also, just how are you this insecure? Let me leave the 33-year-old. I know too many 33-year-olds, and I don't know one. I'm not even lying. One that acts anything like this. In fact, I don't think they could have had this woman among them. Everybody goes back to their places, but you need to remember, Lebo now knows what's happened, right? Ruth goes back, knocks and goes to the loo, and then when she gets out of the loo, Lebo had already come to their villa to confront her partner in real life, who is Nola. And she's like, so you've been sleeping with Ruth, not once, not twice, and you've just been sleeping with her. Listen to this man's response. This man says to her, who told you that? Like he automatically, guys, these are your people. Why am I separating myself? These are our people. This is, I was triggered. Who told you that? Ruth. Okay, now he has to coax up a new thing, okay? Anybody else, he could have been like, oh, he's making that up. Ruth comes out of the bathroom and then, you guys are kidding not. I'm not laughing. Nola says to Ruth, why would you joke like that? But why would you joke like that? Aiden is there. You guys, I am sorry, but I think it's funny because I know a lot of them. He's not the anomaly. Like, Nola is not the thing to point at and go, ooh, Aiden might be that. With all his flaws, he's not over there trying to do bro code shit. He's there looking out for the person that he's made friends with, trying to calm her down, right? Letting her get everything she needs to get out, and where he feels like, you know what, we're going around in circles, it's not going to stop. He's trying to calm her down. Nola tries to rope Aiden into his mess, talking about, Aiden, did I not come clean today, bruh? Aiden's like, no, don't, nigger. Like, don't call me into this. Like, no. Now he's upset. He's like, let's call Isaac to the villa, because he's like, no, if Ruth is gonna have my relationship going up in flames, her relationship must also, like, uh see ashes. It must. If I'm done, she's done. Calls Isaac. Isaac is like, hey, yeah, what's up? And he's like, come to the villa, blah blah blah. Lebu in the breaker, don't come. And then Isaac is like, I've never been there. I want to see you. Guys, Ruth is just there. Like, first of all, Ruth was not wrong. I don't think Ruth was wrong for coming clean. I think she would have been left holding the L. I think he would have gotten home and known that the episode is going to come out. He knows how to manipulate Level by now, right? Or not even told her. Let us see it on TV, come home, manipulate her however that he usually does. He's done it enough times. He knows the song and dance. Note that he keeps saying to her, no, we're going to go get married. We're going to go, right? And when we tell you guys that they use this thing, right? A lot of you get shut up rings right after a man has fucked up big and you've been saying, marry me, marry me. He gives you a ring and you shut up, right? About whatever indiscretion that you've just come from, where you've lost your hair and you now act like you just like to wear your hair so short, girl, please. Right? A lot of you get those rings. A lot of you, like, if Level forgives him, he now knows she's gonna put up with absolutely anything. So she's the perfect person to marry because he's never gonna change, and he knows that about himself. He knows that. That comes over to the villa. Ruth is sitting there. I can tell she's also scared. Like, physically, she's trying to make herself as small as possible, so as to not communicate that she's squaring up. That's what that body language read to is me. She gets there. Nola's been denying all of this. All this while, Nola's denying this. Denying. The moment Isaac gets there, he says to Isaac, this is how much he does not give a shit about Level. Did not give a shit enough to come clean to her. And in Isaac's presence, he's so concerned about getting back at Ruth and making sure that both their houses go up in flames. He doesn't even realize he's finally coming clean to Level. He just knows he's putting a dagger in that bitch. And he says to Isaac, yeah, Ruth and I have been sleeping together. My man Isaac, I knew it. I don't think Isaac is hurt because I don't think Isaac cares about Ruth. I think Isaac has had Ruth on the back burner for so long, but most importantly, I think when he saw an opportunity to bag the likes of Kanya, he sold himself on something that wasn't happening. He sold himself so hard on the possibility of a future with this person that he no longer gave a shit about Kanya, right? Do you remember when they were picking partners at the table and they asked him, oh, did you have a good time going on your dates with the ladies this week? And he's like, yeah, I had a good time with everybody except for my girlfriend or my ex. He was so careless with her heart. At no point has he checked in on her this week. He didn't care that she was crying after a while. He had sold himself so far with this dream that this revelation that he had an inkling of, mind you, so it's not much a revelation, more than a confirmation of what was already like bugging him a little bit. All it does is serve as an embarrassment. And he said so, like, oh, I'm that guy that people are going to look at as my woman was easy. Your woman was easy because it's layered. Like, because of you, yes, you were reckless with her heart, but also she's saying that you're not satisfying her in that department. You can't be doing both. You what incentive? What? First of all, it didn't matter. First of all, Ruth for president, because Ruth is not apologetic about what she's done. This thing happens. And then now Isaac and Nola are pushing each other around. Both of these people can fight. I can tell. Because, security is there. They know they're not really going to get into it. And it's like, yeah, let's fight now, bro. Let's fucking fight, bro. It's like, ghosty. Yeah, mahala. At my primary school, it used to go, Bonnie, Connie, Slani. What y'all saying? The whole thing. And we also did ghosty, mahala. But anyway, we didn't get that. We get that. We still gotta watch WrestleMania for that, man. But anyway, all of that happens. You guys, me, I loved this episode. I think I was just too traumatized. It's like I was mad until I wasn't. I was mad until I was just like, "Hey, bye, producer." Like, the producers at work. Like I was mad until I was just like, "This is great television." Like, I had to get over it. Sorry. Caesar Kelly is obviously crying. Duh, Caesar Kelly. I have no idea where my throat is telling me it's annoyed, and I can't be swirling about. I think I have throat lozenges in here. I do, but I can't be swirling that about while I'm talking to you guys. Medical. Keep this shit handy because I've got a problem. Okay, Sizakela is obviously first of all, the moment Sizakela walks in, Stockholm syndrome over there in the name of Barkemang. What's his name? What is his name? Nkateko. Nkateko wants to understand, like he wants his fix, and his fix obviously is whatever altercation she may have had with his partner. Who all did you talk to? She's like, oh, I spoke to, this is exactly how she speaks. Spoke to everyone. Oh, everyone. Oh, how did it go? She's like, oh, how did it go with you? No, ladies first. Like he really wants to hear what happened with her. And Orlando's like, Kanya. And she tells him that, oh my God, she basically this is how she speaks. Look, feminine. Hey, okay. She basically called me easy in front of everybody, and then, why is that girl like that? She's trying to understand from him because he's lived with her for so long. That's his partner. She's trying to, is this how she is, or is this out of character? And instead of him trying to say, first of all, that's not how I see you, and I don't know why she's acting like that, or yes, she acts like that, he says, you can't let her talk to you like that. Boys are gonna launch you. I'm so sorry, guys. My throat can't do it. Boys, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, I had to suckle on that. It's all the laughing I'm doing. I had to suckle on that a little bit just so it ends like us. And then I can get back to you guys. You guys, I actually have trauma of Blackberry. Is it Blackberry? What brand is it? I think all Blackberry, but I think that is that brand Strepsil. Is it? Is it? But yeah, Blackberry. Never. There was a year I was dying. I was actually dying, and they got me those ones. And every time, guys, this thing, baby, changing memory. So I don't like to see them. I actually like the eucalyptus ones, Vicks, very effective. I do these ones as well. I don't think I walked into the shop and bought these lemon. Anyway, I need to stock up on stuff for winter. Anyway, back to Nkateko planning, launching what's her name? Caesar. He's like to her, oh, you can't let her talk to you like that. He's like, yeah, I'll ask her about it. But she's planning to come because I figure she's feeling the tensions are high. There's no point in going to, first of all, while they're talking, the nyogo that is Wulewu and Isaac, that kerfuffle, they hear it, and then they got on the balcony and they're like, oh, this is none of our business. What? What do you mean? Of course it is. You stay the fuck out there and you hear everything they're saying. Of course, it's your business. That relationship is not going to last and we got to break up. We're just going to break up. My parents' marriage, I mean, it's built on other shit, but they really be gossiping. They gossip about us. Honestly, that's what strengthens that shit. That's really what really kept them going. And Cyril's economy, oh, you got gossip is free, bitch. But they went back inside and then Nkateko was like, no, let's go confront her. Let's go. Put that down. Let's go. She's like, so she's trusting him because that's her man. You know, he's not going to leave her side, bitch. Guys, he delivered her like a take-a-lot package. The take-a-lot guy doesn't stay at your house with you for tea. He drops that thing off and he's out of there. That's what Nkateko did. He got there, Finger sitting out on the terrace or what her patio or whatever. But she's sitting out and this is Kanya. And they walk in and Kanya's like, what are you guys doing here? Did I invite you? And then, guys, while Sizakele is sitting down, like, and Kanya's like, no, I didn't tell you to sit. While she's still scooting about, Nkateko's already saying, I'm gonna leave you guys to sort this out by yourself. Leaves. And then you see her eyes start to go, because she now is like, first of all, this was not my idea. And here is where me and the women of South Africa, I was telling you guys that there is no need to feel bad for this fucking fool. Launched this girl. He's so addicted to the chaos that is Kanya. He missed it. That's why he took that girl over there. It wasn't to go and defend her honor. He's about to be back with Kanya. This is their last day together with Caesar, right? But he's drumming up the drama because that's the nature of their relationship. This is how the foreplay starts, right? He's starting it early so that by the time he's back in the house with her tomorrow, tensions are nice and high, and then they can build off those fucking tensions and then have this explosive sex that it seems like a pattern, right? And Caesar's been used as a tool. She's a pawn in this entire situation. And she's allowing it to happen, Lena. But guess, and I'm not going to put any of this on her. Leaves her there. And this monster, this light-skinned monster, yells at her, bangs the table, leave. I never told you to sit down, you fatty bum. You get off my patio. You're ratchet. Bangs the table, yells at her, and like spit hits her because she's yelling in her face like that. Sizali and now sorry, I'm soft, girl. It's a time and place. It's a time and place. As Caesar is walking away, she's yelling, oh my God, Kay, where are you? Kay's nowhere inside. Kay's back at the house, probably laughing at what he's just done. At you, Miss Soft Girl. Let's have a soft W to Sikasilo. I'm telling you now. Okay? I mean, sometimes it's helpful, but we'll talk about that like when it's not now. She gets to the apartment. I'm glad she sticks up for herself. I'm glad she calls him out. She says to Nkateko, you know what? You took me there to go and fight your battle. You took me there to go say things to that girl that you want to say to her. I mean, guys, the way this girl, Kanya, spoke to this girl, she wasn't invited, but no. We don't do that. And she explains what happened and she's crying. He's trying to hold her because he also wants to be the hero, even though he created the situation. I don't know. Cousin to Munchausen there. And then like leaves, and then she's like, well, then he's like, you left me there because she says to him, you left me there because you can't handle how she gets. And he says, no, I can handle it. And then she says, then you go over there and you confront her. All of this is happening, ne? Isaac is there. Isaac is back from his nyogo of learning that Ruth was getting her back blown out. He's back, he said. When he gets back in the house before the yelling commenced with Sizagele, he's like, to Kanya, so you knew and you didn't tell me. And she's like, knew what? Like, she really does, this girl does not care, right? Barkemangyo, he comes to the villa. Nkateko comes to the villa to confront this one. Kanya. Kanya was waiting for him. Guys, this is their little shtick. Feel bad for nobody here. Not even Isaac. Everybody involved here likes it here. They like to be here. Kanya, because when I tell you I know somebody dating a Kanya, I'm not playing. Like, there's such a thing as fighting fair, especially when you say you love a person, and it's not even just in romantic situation. It's certain shit I'm not going to say to my mates because we can't come back from that. It's just so low. This girl said to this man, get out of this house. Why are you here? Okay, that's still normal. Get out of here with your cheap shoes. She likes to say cheap a lot, so she must like expensive things. Get out of here with your cheap shoes. Nobody called you here. Right? And then Nkateko is just there out of his depth, Nkateko who can handle it. Then he was told to stop smiling or whatever it is she said, but she said, before you brush your ugly teeth. Did she say that? She said that. But basically, she said something about his teeth being ugly and how he shouldn't be smiling like that. This is somebody who says they're in love with you and want to get married to you. And then what's supposed to happen? When we make up, I'm supposed to be like, oh, baby, I love your smile, and you're supposed to believe me. Like, like some of the way we insult people, we address them, they feel so bare and naked. It really speaks to how obvious you feel as a person, like I've alluded to about Kanya for me. Anybody that insults in that particular style, where they're trying to like reduce you to nothing, that's how they feel about themselves as a general matter. Like, as a general matter, they're worried that people see them the way that they see themselves. So they quickly want to reduce somebody, like, honestly, because it makes no sense. None whatsoever. And then they're yelling, and people are online saying, oh, she's just like Dineo Ranaka. You're slow if you think that. Dineo's yelling comes from Dineo having the stature or lack of stature that she has and going unheard and being a woman. Dineo is not wrong, right? And when she is fine, she is. But half the time, or more than half of the time, Dineo is having to talk to some ignorant people. So it forces her to talk. But the things that are coming out of her mouth, it's not this. It is not things that are this low. So I think some of you just don't have the ear or the eye to spot the difference. And it's okay. I'm sure you're great at other things. Okay. But it's not this. I'm telling you now, these people are not the same person. Great. I'm not going to do episode 7 in this take because we're already like an hour or so. It's just not going to work. But that's basic. Oh, Nkateko goes back to the thing, goes back to Caesar, and they apologize. And Caesar's like, I decided to forgive him because there's no manual, girl, whatever. It's like, why? Okay, girl. There's no manual. And I think she just wanted to cuddle and enjoy her last night with this person. So did everybody else, because they were going to swap the day after or so. Over. At the changeover, everybody learns that Nola and Lebo obviously left. And people are like, okay, what is happening, what did who learn, and people are emotional, other people have bonded, and then we realize obviously Genesis and Aiden and Courtney didn't have the same kind of romantic experience as everybody else, but everybody switches partners back, to the people that they came with. But that's basically it. Kanya obviously thinks she was, great. With Isaac, she's like, I'm sure he's learned some things. Maybe some of it will register with him along the way, or some of it or some of it he just won't admit. Courtney says in her interviews, this girl thinks like, that wife swap episode where the little boy says, she thinks she's the queen and we're the sorry people. That's practically what Courtney said. Like, this girl thinks she's the princess of somewhere. And she's the princess of nowhere. Like Catherine, where the fuck is Catherine? Anyway, mwah. Bye, Ella.